Hi everyone, my name is Anastasia Stoyanova, and if this is the first time that you're listening to this podcast, welcome. I have many videos about Canadian immigration and my experience and some tips how to learn English. And in today's episode, I'm going to share my journey of learning French for Canadian immigration. So this is what this episode is going to be about. And here we go. If you're watching the video version, you could see that I'm wearing this beautiful red beret. Yeah, it's like a French kind of hat. And this is a symbol for me that I love French. I've been learning French for a while and I've achieved a B1 level. Now I transferred and I started B2 level in French. And I'd like to share some tips how to learn French and why French is a game changer for Canadian immigration. So we are going to talk about that. I hope that you're going to take away a lot from this episode. And I'll talk about motivation and how to start learning French for Canadian immigration from scratch. I'm going to talk about how to get back on the horse if if you maybe learned French in the past, but then you took a break and then now decided you're going to need it for immigration. So I'll share my experience and what to do, some nuts and bolts, so to say, practical tips. Remember that French can be your ticket to Canadian immigration. French is greatly appreciated in Canada and can open up career opportunities for you as well. Okay, so we'll talk about that and let's get started. First and foremost, for me, I'm an English teacher, right? So I teach people how to learn English for Canadian immigration. I teach how to pass CELPIP. When I arrived in Canada in 2022, I was also a temporary resident. I had a work permit and I worked at a language schools across Canada, as you probably know, based on the episodes that you've listened to. But I really needed to figure out my pathway to becoming a permanent resident of Canada. And after consulting with an immigration lawyer, I decided to take the plunge and start learning French because this is one of the good ways to become a permanent resident right now, as of right now, because, immigration laws are changing all the time. Canada, as of the fall 2025, has a special pathway for francophones, for people who speak French, understand French really well at the level of B2, which is upper intermediate, which is CLB 7 based on Canadian language benchmark standard. And CLB 7 is a very solid level, so you gotta be able to converse in French freely, and it might take time, and we'll talk about that. So after the immigration lawyer talked to me and my husband and said that, okay, there's only one way, and that's French. So we got the ball rolling, as they say. We started thinking how. And as I love Instagram and I've been following one of the tutors, even before coming to Canada, I don't know why, it's just I liked her content and I've been following her, not because I needed French back then, but I liked her as a person. So I decided to reach out, and that's how I found the tutor. And she was based in France, but she was a great teacher with all kinds of international qualifications. And her name is Lena. So Lena helped me build my foundation because I had zero French back then. It was February 2023. And I reached out to her and I explained that I'm zero French. I have native English level. I know Russian, I know Ukrainian. I've learned German in the past. I achieved intermediate level or higher than that, and I was teaching German for some time. Not anymore though. My German now is a bit rusty, yeah. So, but I had zero experience in French. So the first 6 months, we had been building that foundation online with her, and I was able to achieve pre-intermediate level, right? But something great happened because we got our provincial invitation through my husband's job, so we got 600 points, and we've been working very hard for that, and I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful to my husband for this, because thanks to his job, his skills, we got the provincial invitation. And I threw in the towel, so I stopped learning French. We got the PR without French after all. But I think it was a good thing. It's like universe is watching us. And if you put in the effort, it could work. And at that moment, I doubted, like, oh, why did I even start? And I stopped for some time, right? But I think I was like barking up the wrong tree. I should have just kept going, because French opens up so many opportunities also to work for the government, for example. So year and a half, I was not learning French. Life got in the way. I was working. We were finalizing all the PR things, documents, and I think I got this lovely light bulb moment in December 2024, and I thought, why not? I decided to get back on track with French, and I got new goals. I wanted to change my career, and I wanted to try something new, and just for the long-term prospect, because of course it's kind of hard to turn things around, and maybe I wanted to turn French skills into cold, hard cash, as they say. So that's what I did. I decided to get back in touch with my tutor, and I had regrets about quitting. Just, in hindsight, I was thinking about the past, and I was like, why did I stop? I want to start learning again. So, je reviens te chercher. I came back to French lessons, and that was lovely because we picked up where we left off, and I did the research. I suggested using the Edito book that's based by Didier. It's a very good book, quite solid. I recommend it as a teacher also. And it covers all the skills that you might need. So after this break, I returned to Lena, and in January 2025, we started having lessons, and I had 4 months of one-on-one online sessions with her, and I gave it my all. I put in the effort. But then Lena said that she couldn't do it anymore because she got a new job and she wanted to be full-time there. And there is this time difference between us because I'm living in Toronto, Canada, and she lives in France. So it was very hard to kind of juggle that. But I achieved some progress, and, as they say, slow and steady wins the race. So I realized I needed to shake things up a little bit. So I looked up for group lessons, and I got tested at one of the prestigious French centers here in downtown Toronto. And group learning is the best choice because I'm not saying it's like money friendly in terms of if you're looking for a very good school, it's going to be not cheap. Probably you've heard of Alliance Française, and it's not a commercial or anything. I did not get a penny for this kind of promotion, but if you live in a big city or there is Alliance Française, if you want a group learning, you can reach out. It's the real deal. And this kind of transition from individual to group lessons, it's like stepping out of your comfort zone, because I had to go to downtown, and I had to meet people and converse in French. And that's what I do 3 hours per week. And I added more for French learning because, for group learning, you win, you lose, because you get to meet so many people. Some people can be annoying. Some people can be nice. My teacher is great. One of my teachers, because I took more courses with the school, group learning as grammar, to kind of clean up the grammar for B1 so that I can actually reach B2. And but I hit the jackpot. That was a good choice. Breaking down the costs, I must say that private tutoring is expensive, but group learning can be expensive if you're aiming for quality. I do believe that quality is more important than saving money if you want to really make a good investment. I'm that kind of person who has been self-employed, who has been employed by the schools, and I know the cost, and I know that good quality service, educational service, can never cost little money, right? It must cost good amount of money, but that's a good investment because you might get the return on your investment in the form of PR or in the form of career opportunities. I just want to say that you got to be consistent versus intensive in one day. It doesn't work like that. It's better to be consistent and dedicate like 15 minutes a day to French, to listen to something, to read the article, if you're building foundation, to work on the foundation with your tutor, Just the best thing is to do that every day. It's a marathon, not a sprint, as they say. I know it sounds corny, but that's just how things are in life, in many things, right? Now I'm gearing up for B2 level. I'm starting B2 level like in a week, or depends on when you're watching, but the fall 2025 is where I started B2 level, and I want to perfect my French up to proficiency level because I might consider some government jobs or other jobs that are related to French language. So French can be your ticket to Canada, as I've said before, and the required exams are TEF or TCF. Both of them are quite rough. On my website, englishstoyanova.ca, you might want to discover, because I wrote some nice articles about those exams, because you got to jump through the hoops to get those done and to pass those. To pass those with flying colors, you got to do lots of work. So you need to see that different programs require different level, but for Canadian immigration, it's CLB 7, no less than B2. Of course, you can gain some points even if you already have B1, so intermediate level. But for upper intermediate, that's when they consider you as a special category, as a francophone category, a francophone who wants to reside outside of Quebec. So that's important. And again, I'm not an immigration consultant. I'm just the person who just keep myself in the loop, and I watch all kinds of news and all kinds of updates as of the fall 2025. That's how things are. But depending on when you listen or watch this, things might change, so you might want to reach out to your own immigration lawyer and just clarify things just in case. But the sky's the limit. I think that try and start now, and French can open doors you didn't know existed, because there's a separate category, as I said, and you get invited even if your score is not high. So the bottom line is that, coming back to my story, I had this break of 1 year and a half, and then I decided to return. Like I said, the bottom line is as of right now, the full 2025, I have solid 10 months of active learning and communicating with people in French over almost 3 years. I regret taking that break, because any breaks you take in language learning sets you back. So you lose that kind of progress that you made. But my current level is, like I said, B1, and kind of trying to achieve B2. Maybe not in every skill consistently, but it's a lot of work. The good, the bad, and the ugly, I would say. Key takeaways is that if you're on the fence, if you don't know if to learn or not to learn, it's better to start learning and see how it goes, because the French language is very different from the English language. From the perspective of being a linguist, I must say that French language, based on the category, is analytical and synthetical. It means that synthetic language. It means that some grammar forms are going to be analytical, like you take some parts and you put them together, and here we go, voila, you have the sentence. However, I must say that most of the things that you see in French, you see different conjugations based on the verb group. You will see different conjugations of the verb based on the pronoun that you're using. It's like I has one conjugation. You, they have you, different forms of you, like you, polite you as you referring to a group, you referring to friendly way. So he, she, it. Also, they is different, because there's they, which is masculine, and there's they, which is feminine they. So it's all interesting, and you got to remember to build a solid foundation and to really learn present tense with all the conjugations. If you learn that, then it will be easier for you as you go. Also, the French language has gender. Every noun is gendered. So you see the difference. There are 2 genders, not 3, thank God. Like in German, there are 3. There's also neutral or neutrum gender in German. But in French, there are 2. So that's good news. Only masculine and feminine, but you gotta also figure out the system, how to memorize those, because based on the noun gender, everything is based on the noun gender, like your choice of the endings in adjectives, for example, your choice of the correct pronoun form. So that might get ugly, but if you get a hang of that, then great. So yeah, I think maybe for me, I regret taking a break, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise because I figured out that I really love the language, because when I was learning French for my PR, first and foremost, I did not enjoy it. I was under a lot of pressure. I hated it. There were moments when I hated French. Can you imagine? Like, now I love French. I cannot get enough. Like, I want to learn more and more. I want to take more classes. Like, if I could just give up my job and just learn French 24/7, I would. Trust me, because I do love French. I do love the way it sounds. It's a very beautiful language. Every language is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like, English is amazing too. I love English. I've been learning English all my life. I've been working on my accent. I've been working on lots of things. But for French, yeah, like, it's just very special beauty of that language. I think you got to make a choice, and you got to juggle language learning, but remember, consistency versus intensity. So being intensive doesn't mean that you're going to succeed, but being consistent every day, that's what gets you far. And yeah, I would say tuition costs, you got to be prepared for those, but just keep in mind that it's a good investment either way. There are many Francophone communities online, also something you might find useful. But remember, there is a good saying in the English language, Rome wasn't built in a day. So you got to allocate more time. But I do believe that Canadian immigration is shaped by the French language, and that it's not going to change anytime soon. So that would be your ticket to Canada, like I said, right? So if you're in doubt, just try to do it. Just, reach out to me for maybe private lessons if you have zero level. Because like I said, for myself, I'm now starting B2, so I can lay the ground for you. I can build the foundation for you. So yeah, because I do have lots of teaching experience. I've been teaching English for over 10 years, and I have lots and lots of experience. But I think it's just you gotta somehow start liking the fact that, I'm going to learn a new language, kind of psychological thing, something in your mind. You got to understand things that there are no pain, no gain, right? So that you got to practice, because practice makes perfect. You got to build this routine of language learning. If you're starting, I suggest just reading my articles about the exam itself if you are aiming for immigration, for PR pathway. If you want to do like the group learning, look up the schools. And again, if you have Alliance Française, check them out. If you have some money in store and you want to invest in that, so that would be a good choice. Again, I'm not I'm not an official ambassador of the school. I'm just on behalf of the school. I'm not promoting anything, right? It's just I'm sharing my experience. So I just want you to know that overall my experience has been positive with their school. Just remember that work not only on your French, but on your English. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say. So kind of diversify have like plan A, plan B. That's always a good thing to have, because after all, maybe you start learning and you hit the stride. Maybe you're not gonna, nothing is gonna work out with that. So you never know. I'm just saying, be prepared and have plan A, plan B. So yeah. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of a little bit of glimpse into my French language learning journey. And I'll keep learning French. I'll keep you updated, guys, if I get the job in the government or elsewhere with French. In the meantime, I just want to say that start learning and build a foundation for present tense and conjugations. You could use the Bechamel book. It's like Bechamel conjugations. Look that up. Secondly, read about TEF and TCF. They are not that different. Some people say one is easier, one is harder. It's a myth. I looked up the format. I never took them as of now. Maybe in the future I'll take for fun. I'm thinking about taking some French test just for fun. Maybe I'll take the DELF diploma, because it's not for immigration purposes, but for myself, and the diploma never expires. But for TEF and TCF, they do expire. They have only 2 years of validity. So check those out, and just kind of remember that it's an exam. If you're learning not for pleasure, but for the exam, you just need to beat the exam and learn learn the basics of the exam, the strategies. So that's something that's important. For myself now, I'm just going to enjoy the French learning and putting French into my life. I think that's a very important part of my life right now. Yay, hence this lovely beret. And I really want to travel and see Paris and see France, maybe Toulouse or some other towns. And I started falling in love with French so much, and that's been my pleasure and one of the best hobbies that I ever took up in my life, I could say. So you never know how life plays out. One day you hate French and then you're going to love it just the same way it happened to me. I think that just keep your eyes on the prize. It's very important. And my words of wisdoms for you guys is just start and see where it goes. Just take the bull by the horns and start or continue learning, and that will work out for you guys. I hope that was useful. I hope I inspired you. One last thing though, I almost forgot, guys. There is this also, apart from Duolingo, that might help you build the foundation, although I'm not a big fan of Duolingo, to be honest. I tried it when I was just starting, and it's a good for foundation, but like the app that I really like, and that's by Canadian government, and that's like absolutely free as of now. It's called Mauril, Mauril. I will show you. That's a nice app that I use just for fun, also to learn when I just lie around. And remember that if you already have foundation, then read a lot. There's this nice magazine, Bien Dire, for French learners, something I like. There's this lapresse.ca, articles about, it's a Quebec magazine, if I'm not wrong. Also, nice articles about news, about all kinds of things that you can get for free. Just, and reach out if you need help, or if you need tutoring, or if you just want to discuss something, and I can give you more tips, of course. Thank you so much for listening to this, for listening about my journey. And I'll keep learning French. I'm planning on taking like a literature course that the school offers, also just to start reading more about like reading in French and reading literature in French. I think I'm going to have so much fun with that. So take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. À bientôt. See you soon. Bye-bye.